like we've been saying.
All right, now I've got audio on this time before I even start. That's how you do it. This is what we do. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Slid over a little bit. Hello. Thanks for those that joined. Thank you to those that joined us for the Double Neck Download. Richard Hunter and I had our first show in a long time, especially in person. We've done a couple of virtual ones, as everybody did during the the current unpleasantness, but now we're kind of back to doing it in person. It's nice to have friends that are fully vaccinated and take every precaution. It's a lovely thing. Unlike the likes of, and by the way, welcome and hello everyone. Unlike the likes of Sean Hannity, who is a goon and a goober, and looks like a fire plug in a doctor's toupee from 1977, and I think does Stuttering John call him Fred Flintstone? I honestly, I have to go with Barney Rubble on this one. But anyways, doesn't matter. This is him a couple of nights ago.
Like we've been saying.
And pretending that Fox News isn't the reason that Republicans are dying at an enormously fast pace, a quick clip, due to the Delta variant, because this asshole and everybody at his place of work have been telling people, I don't know, vaccines, for the better part of a year. Whenever they bring on their hero, the former president, he's always like, I invented it, but don't do it, and but you should. I mean, think about it, but it's no good. And here he is. Some of us may have caught this. I didn't get to go through the clip itself. Because I didn't want to waste my time with it, quite frankly, because I didn't think it was going to last. And lo and behold, here we go. Thank you very much. Thanks so much, Lauren.
Like we've been saying, please take COVID seriously.
Yeah, that's what you've been saying. Starting off right out of the gate, just the horse is backwards in the stall, the gun goes off, and the horse runs out of the gate ass first. Like we've been saying. When?
I can't say it enough. Enough people have died. We don't need any more death.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm glad to know there was a quota. Does Fox have a thing on the wall that says we definitely got to cull the herd? We're gonna have to scoop some people off the cliff. Is there a lemming march anytime soon? How many what was the number you were trying to reach with all your bullshit for the last year, Sean? How many people where you're like, okay, we're not there yet. We need a few more dead. Now we've hit it. Okay, cool. Okay, slow down. Oh, you're overdoing it. Why? Well, we're killing the Hicks with money now. See, just like the fentanyl and opioid epidemic, we were hoping that, that would help us upper class New Yorker types like him, as much as he pretends to be down home like Huckabee and that bullshit Bubba nonsense that they do. This is how they, clear out all the poor white trash. You know what I mean? That Appalachian land is amazing. I mean, you could have a mountain resort there. It'd be like amazing, just kind of, vacation spots instead of rolling hills. It's beautiful. If it wasn't for all those poor white trash in them, what we could do is just let this roll for a little while, talk them out of getting a vaccine, and then, and we'll buy up the land at fire sale prices. Uh-oh, it's killing some of the white people with money that we count on to, oh shit. All right, time to tap the brakes.
Research like crazy. Talk to your doctor, your doctors, medical professionals you trust based on your unique medical history, your current medical condition, and you and your doctor make a very important decision for your own safety. Take it seriously. You also...
Yeah, and by doctor, he means a real doctor. Not your buddy who's on Facebook a lot, who's a podiatrist.
Have a right to medical privacy. Doctor-patient confidentiality is also important, and it absolutely makes sense for many Americans to get vaccinated. I believe in science. I believe in the science of vaccination.
By the way, that asshole and everybody else at Fox has been vaccinated, period. I believe in the science of vaccination is a bunch of shit, because a lot of them do too. They'll take the measles vaccine or other stuff. I mean, there's those little pockets of rednecks and right wingers and arguably the black people that have been bullshitted into. What happened to the Tuskegee Airmen is reason for you to not get vaccines. Like, I mean, if that doesn't sound like a soft-pedaling, passive eugenic white supremacy plot to get black people to not take vaccines that will save their lives, I don't know what does. But, yeah, there are those pockets of those assholes. But the vast majority of them they're looking at the shingles vaccine ads every day going, I should get that, Marge. They're all doing that. So saying you believe in the science of vaccines doesn't mean you trust this one. Again, this is cowardice. As much as this was like, oh my God, look who's coming out for vaccines. He's not. Look at this. Hannity was on last night strongly suggesting, first of all, there's no such thing as a strong suggestion. What is there? Weekly ordering would be more helpful. People to get the vaccine. No. To trust the science of vaccines, maybe. If he was strongly suggesting people get the vaccine, he would have said, I've been vaccinated. But he didn't. Because Sean Hannity is a coward. And that's not just me saying it. Let's see. Let's go back on here. Let's see. I'll go back one page. Beg your pardon. And then, let's see. I can find this. It's in here somewhere. Here he is. Just one night later, after backlash from the QAnon crowd that basically own Hannity at this point. This is the very next day. What'd you say?
These reports are all false for multiple reasons. First,
but and this is Hannity. This is on FoxNews.com. Hannity urges Biden to just thank Donald Trump for Operation Warp Speed. No Trump, no vaccine, Joe. Okay.
I touted Operation Warp Speed since the beginning. In January of 2020, I was predicting that I had so much faith in American researchers, the medical community, scientists, and as you
and hydroxychloroquine and basically any fish tank cleaner.
Usual, it was my prediction that it will likely be American ingenuity and genius that will help us find therapeutics and vaccines and answers. And
yeah, the answers. That's what you're really looking for. By the way, the first doses came from a lab in Belgium.
Praise the efforts of all of these scientists and medical professionals.
Yeah, the efforts. That's not the same thing, asshole.
Involved in developing therapeutics.
And therapeutics again. This whole, like, you don't need it. If you get sick, you'll get some monoclonal antibodies. You'll be just fine. Never mind long-haul COVID. Never mind COVID brain. Never mind it boring holes in your brain and you ending up with impulse control later on. And who cares?
The 3 vaccines that are now on the market and literally dozens of others. In terms of therapy.
No, not literally dozens of others. Oh, in terms of therapeutics.
But I never.
Yeah, a vaccine is not a therapeutic and vice versa. God damn.
Never told anyone to get a vaccine. I've been very clear. I am simply not qualified. I am not a medical doctor.
Every day this asshole is saying Biden has dementia. Every day this asshole. Not a medical. Like, how long will we have to wait? What? Was it in the same episode? He medically diagnosed someone? And by the way, how do you have to be a fucking doctor if you have any concerns about issues that you might have? Talk to your doctor. But I recommend the vaccine. How hard is that? And here's the other thing, Sean. Say to your people, I've been vaccinated. You should talk to your doctor, but I trusted it enough to put it into my body. But he won't say that because he's a fucking coward.
I know nothing about your medical history.
God damn, it's so weak. This is like when you get in an argument with somebody and they go, I never said I was perfect. Like, that's the back out of it, Yeah, we're not arguing about perfection. We're arguing about you being rude to waiters. Not that there's a perfect way for you to be rude to waiters. You know what I mean? Fucking hell. Just a douchebag. All right, here we go.
Or your current medical condition. I think it's inappropriate for me to do so.
Then don't diagnose Joe Biden with dementia when he has a stutter asshole.
Instead, for over a year now, I have been warning my...
Was last year over a year? Congratulations, ladies. I know that there's, International Women's Day, but I had no idea we had over a year last year.
Viewers, you may...
Sorry it happened in fucking COVID, but I mean, can't women get a break?
Make my career possible. I want every American, liberal, conservative, Republican, Democrat, I want you to be healthy. I have seen the worst of this virus in people that I love and care about, and to take COVID-19 seriously. And I've said it over and over and over again. It's not been in the last week. I said to take it seriously, to do your own research. There's a ton of it right on, at the tip of your fingers on your own phone. Look at all of the studies. Consult your doctor or doctors. Consult medical professionals that...
Has Sean Hannity ever said he got vaccinated on the air?
You trust. And based on your specific medical history...
Here's your medical history. You've been alive until COVID showed up, and you would like to be alive after.
And health issues. That will be an important decision with you and your doctor based on your very unique and specific circumstances.
No. Some people have very unique and specific circumstances that they have to look into this, but the vast majority of people don't. You know what? The one unique circumstance we all share right now? We're all in an epidemic. We're in a pandemic. That's your unique situation.
I've had many doctors on this program, some that I agreed with and some that I disagreed with, and I pelted them.
Did you get the vaccine, you asshat?
With questions about COVID-19 and the vaccine and therapeutics, hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, Regeneron, etc. And
Regeneron's a company, not the actual... God.
We passed on the information to inform people on how all Americans can stay healthy. Here's just a small...
Does anybody know? For God's sake, at no point did this asshole say, I've been vaccinated, I recommend it, but you need to check with your doctor. That you can still do that caveat and still admit that you've been vaccinated. But if Sean Hannity admits he has been vaccinated, these people are going to chew him up and spit him out. What was this? Donald Trump spoke to Sean Hannity this week. She made a bizarre, blatantly false claim that COVID vaccines were about controlling people from day one. Oh, I don't know. There's so much, of this stuff. And this dude, the guy who's like, I'm not taking it no matter what. Oh, God. What is this? The media is highlighting the dueling philosophies of Hannity and Tucker on vaccines, at least some diversity of thoughts. As Billy Riley, the left, which wants to destroy Fox News Channel, is making a big deal out of that? I'm sorry. Does he, at any point, Bill... honestly, $32 million, you got off cheap.
The liberal media will not tolerate any anti-vax stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck that. Obviously, I can't, imprison people or anything, but if it comes up, I'm going to take a giant shit on it, as should you. Anti-vax. By the way, that doesn't even qualify as... Anybody who's like, I'm not sure about this. I'm hearing mixed signals. I want to get a vaccine and protect myself, but I'm concerned that that's not the same thing as vaccines are here to put nanobots in. They make you magnetic, Bill.
You won't hear it, and if they somehow get a hold of it, it'll demonize a person. Any of that. Robert.
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah.
Kennedy Jr.
is an asshole.
A Democrat, liberal. Wrote a book, it's out now, that the vaccinations are bad. He's an anti-vax guy.
Right. Fuck him.
Always has been.
Right. Fuck him.
Okay? Now you get Kennedy, a fairly big name. He can't get on any shows. Can't hear.
Right. Because fuck him.
Hear his point of view. You can read a book.
Yeah, you can. He's got a book out. He's not being silenced. He just... Oh, God damn it. This is that free speech thing again, right? Free speech is, I get your microphone.
Look, they're selling the book. It's on Amazon. Saw it the other day. But Kennedy himself is not going to get booked anywhere. The only outlet, television-wise, that
We'll have Kennedy on his Tucker.
has an anti-vax contingent is the Fox News channel. But
All right, so there you go. According to Bill O'Reilly, Fox News has an anti-vax contingent. Not a vaccine hesitancy issue, not some people who are concerned, but a straight-up anti-vax contingent. Bill, first of all, you're a dumbass. Second of all, you're gross. Third of all, what?
the anti-vaxxers
Rick, he paid $32 million to a woman he sexually abused for years.
there are in a minority. Most of the people at Fox, working at Fox, are encouraging folks to get the vaccine. And remember, Donald Trump did that.
Oh, yeah?
All right, he's been, going around saying get the vax. Just remember that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Now, the two biggest names at FNC are Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity.
Yeah, I guess Kill Me doesn't chart. I would say the executives there, but sure.
Well, Hannity last night came out and said, you got to get vaxxed.
No, he didn't.
But Carlson is skeptical.
No, Carlson is a racist.
So you got back-to-back hours where one guy is
Yeah, it's fair and balanced.
skeptical and the other guy is saying get vaxxed.
Did he pay it to Fox News? No, he paid it directly. He paid it directly. Fox News paid other money. It's something like, there's more than that. It's 45 million plus total.
It doesn't
Thanks, RT1.
matter,
No?
all right? I mean,
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if somebody's for it or against it. Bill supports Fox News. That's just the reality.
admire any network where you can have a diversity of thought and
Yeah, I mean, let's say your city wants a Holocaust museum. Now, you could bring on two people to discuss it, to debate it. One saying, I think a Holocaust museum is a great idea and will remind people what happened and it'll never happen again because they'll be aware. And the other person says, I think actually a Jewish Heritage Museum would be a great idea that has a portion of that, but actually spends more of its time talking about the positive impact of the Jewish community in the world, and that would be a better use of it. No, I think a Holocaust museum is where people will understand that you can put elements of the positivity in now. No, I think the positivity, that's a debate or whatever. Fox News' idea would be you want somebody who wants to build a Holocaust museum and somebody who doesn't think the Holocaust existed. That's the debate. That's the quality of debate that Bill O'Reilly is talking about.
an opinion put forth because the CNNs, the NBCs, the ABCs, there's no diversity of thought. It's just one thing. I mean, everybody knows it. At least FNC, you got back and forth. But it does put the Fox News organization in a difficult position.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got two assholes in their nightly lineup butted right up against each other.
Because it's not a war. They're not disparaging each other.
No, they're ignoring each other. There's no linear thought. It's almost as if there is no sort of ethical through line at Fox News. It's whatever makes money in whatever hour.
They're just saying opposite things, which is fine. When I was there, I said opposite things of some of the
Yeah, to what you'd said just 10 minutes before. That happened quite often.
commentators. But that is, the left, which wants to destroy FNC's.
Why do I feel like I'm sitting across from this asshole at like a really bad speed dating mix-up?
Making a big deal out of that.
That's it? That's the no spin? Holy shit. Here's can I just clean something up for the Hannitys of the world? I'm not a doctor either, but I have been vaccinated. And I recommend getting vaccinated, considering with my own two eyes, I can see, and we can see across the country, that we have right now, a pandemic of the unvaccinated right now. And while there is a minute number of people, about 7%, which was always the number we were told around this, that can either carry the disease or test positive for it or actually get it, but to a way lesser extent, where they're currently 99% of hospitalizations, somewhere like, I think it might be 97% of hospitalizations from COVID are people who have not been vaccinated, and 100% of the deaths. That would be my statistical recommendation. If you know of or are concerned that you may have some sort of hidden biological problem, like a ticking time bomb that might be set off by this vaccine, go talk to your doctor, of course. But then go get the fucking vaccine. Because he's going to go, of course get it. What the fuck are you talking about? You didn't give a shit about this when I gave you the measles shot to your kid, or the whooping cough thing when you got it when you had your toddler and you had to have it to go to preschool, and you didn't give a fuck about it when you went to CVS and got a shingles vaccine. You didn't ask a single goddamn question.
With Joe Biden last night, yes, you're.
And by the way, just to cover on this whole "I'm not a doctor" bullshit. Biden had a town hall. Loved it, by the way. Biden stumbles and struggles and repeatedly slips up during town hall event. This is, using his linguistical issues because he stutters as if, But what do you think the chances are, and I've not watched this, that Hannity says he's got dementia and that he's not mentally all there? The kind of stuff you'd need a doctor to actually know.
Your fearless leader came out of hiding for a very special town hall. Very few people watched on fake news CNN. And despite a never-ending stream of softball questions and plenty of coddling from Don Lemon, well, the town hall was charitably, I'll say, an unmitigated disaster.
Yeah, you don't do anything charitably, Sean. Except, I don't know, I shouldn't say that. When you were client number 3 of Michael Cohen's, when he was a fixer for Donald Trump, and he would deal with abortions and mistresses and shit like that. This is, of course, before your marriage ended, I think. It was during the time when your wife and you were separated, and that we found out about this. I think a lot of this happened. This goes a long way back, Sean. So during the time before your wife and you separated, when you were client number 3 with Michael Cohen, and we found out you were client number 3 of Michael Cohen's, when he was basically specializing in getting rid of, paying for abortions, arranging for hush money, and dealing with porn stars. And there were only 2 guys ahead of you. That's interesting. During that time, would you describe any of that period as an unmitigated disaster?
Now, many of Joe's answers were completely incomprehensible.
There you go, off his rocker. But he's not a medical professional. So.
At times, no one seemed to know what the hell Joe was even talking about. Not even Don Lemon, not the audience, not even Joe himself. But as usual, we let you decide.
Let's see. What do you think the odds are we're going to get clipped sentences taken out of context?
I've heard you speak about it because I'm not being solicitous, but you're always straight up about what you're doing. And the question is whether or not we should be in a position where you are. Why can't the experts say we know that this virus is in fact it's going to be. Or excuse me, we know why all the drugs approved are not temporarily approved, but permanently approved. Yeah. That's underway, too. I expect that to occur quickly.
Well, you mean for the FDA?
For the FDA. There are trusted interlocutors.
Right. So they're midway through a conversation, and he's shaping up what he's saying. Again, the point was, we're all clear that he's aware of what he means, right? Yeah, okay.
Think of the people. If your kid wanted to find out
how you change the mistrust in the system among some members in the black community,
whether or not there's a man on the moon or whatever, something, or whether those aliens are here or not, who are the people they talk to beyond the kids who love talking about it? They go to people they respect.
Okay,
scientists. He's talking about if your kids, whether the moon's made of cheese, whether there's a man in the moon, whether they're aliens. They're going to talk to their buddies. It's a conspiratorial thing. That's what he's discussing. But great cut out there, Sean. I'm so concerned. America is doomed.
Okay, we have a president who, to be charitable again at times, is completely unable to communicate, a total cognitive mess. And I know...
Sean, sorry. Why would anyone want to communicate a total cognitive mess? I'm concerned, Sean, that you may be failing mentally. Let's listen to that sentence again. I don't want you to think I'm taking it out of context.
Unable to communicate.
Wait, hold on.
To be charitable again at times, is completely unable to communicate, a total cognitive mess. And I know I've joked about it in the past, but it's really not funny anymore.
Yeah, you've repeated this whole I've joked about it in the past, but it's not funny anymore. You've said that like at least every other night for about a month. I'm concerned that you're starting to repeat yourself, Sean. And I'm not a medical doctor, but I would suggest that you talk to a cognitive specialist. Maybe get, some... They have one of those person, woman, man, camera, TV tests that you could possibly do. Although, considering what you do for a living, that might be difficult. That might be actually too hard for you. You might go, did I already say that? Person, woman, man, camera, TV. Is that the question or my work? We just witnessed Sean Hannity on his own television show, in between clips, or graphic in a moment, of Joe Biden speaking and him, I guess, going to another clip. I don't know. Like I said, I don't pre-watch these things. Drifting and saying the exact opposite of what he meant to say. This man is a professional television opinion anchor person, whatever his job description is. What did we just watch? We just watched him, a full, decade and a half younger than Joe Biden, struggle to get his point across and to at least even appear coherent to his audience. I mean, to you and I and Joe Biden, who's standing there going, hey, buddy, you sound like a dumbass. Sean, and to me, of course, and to Sean's viewers, there are times when, Sean, nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about.
This is a real...
Oh, you like the clip louder? Okay, sorry. I'll raise this. Beg your pardon. Thank you.
National security crisis that has emerged not only for the U.S. but the world, and it's completely being ignored by the media mob, the big tech mob. The
big tech mob is ignoring a national security thing? What is that?
Twitter blue check mob and big...
Okay, fuck. I was kind of joking. He's making fun of Biden for rambling and not making sense, saying an inversion of what he actually means to say, and then starts that. What the fuck is this? Sean, run this by me again.
National security crisis that is...
Okay.
A total cognitive mess. And I know I've joked about it in the past, but it's really not funny anymore. This is a real national security crisis that has emerged not only for the U.S. but the world, and it's completely being ignored by the media mob, the big tech mob, the Twitter blue check mob and big tech cult that exists. They only seem to talk to each other. But when Joe was...
What the fuck was that? I don't know. Like, I understand it's an you should be able to count on some of your talking points just falling out of your face without having to think about it. You know, when you say shit, it's like when I'm doing the radio show and I'm like the Al Sparks radio program, Megaworldwide on WCPT Radio, Chicago's Progressive Talk. After a while, it just clicks right out. Like, if I get it started, I can't stop saying it. When I fill in for people on the radio, sometimes it'll be like muscle memory, right? And what? Sean, if you're going to say that Biden, who is saying something original that is dealing with a multitude of people's thoughts on it, this is not your uniform cultish viewers who only want to see one thing all the time, and if you try even remotely to veer off that, they will shit you bloody for 24 hours straight, which is exactly what happened with the vaccine thing. And you're sitting here, you know what you have to say. You say the same shit all the time. And then you go into autopilot and the autopilot crashes the plane?
Not only for the U.S., but the world. And it's completely being ignored by the media mob, the big tech mob, the Twitter blue check mob, and big tech cult that exists. They only seem to talk to each other. But when Joe was able to form a semi-coherent sentence, well, he was...
Sean, you weren't able to form a semi-coherent sentence 3 seconds ago.
Almost always lying. Now, the first example involves crime in America. According to your president, Joe Biden, crime is actually down, he says. Watch for yourself.
Now, I'm not being a wise guy. There's no reason you should. Have you seen my gun violence legislation I've introduced? As you know, because you're so involved, actually crime is down. Gun violence and murder rates are up. Guns.
Okay, Joe, you're the president, but I'll help you out. Murder is way up in...
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, that's what he's talking about. He's talking about violent crime specifically, like shootings and killings because of shootings are way up. But by comparison, robbery, burglary, and other stuff is down. Rising violent crime is likely to present a political challenge for Democrats in 2022. And it hasn't rising violent crime at different points in history hasn't made it difficult for whoever was in power at the time?
In every major city in the country, assaults are up, carjackings, they've spiked also.
They're included in what he was talking about.
Oh, out there in California, the socialist paradise that it is, shoplifting now is so bad because they're not going to arrest you or charge you unless you steal over $1,000. Retailers now have to close early, and some retailers have closed locations permanently because of the never-ending theft. Just look at your screen.
Yeah, that's a city issue.
Right now, look at what's happening here. It's happening all over California. Crooks, what they do is they come in with like garbage bags, they fill them up with merchandise, keep it under $1,000 so they don't get in trouble, and they just walk right out of the store. And in Joe's reality, everything's free. Wow.
Yeah, that's not. How many of you been to the store recently? Did that happen any of the times you were at the store? Yes, there's footage of this. Yes, this is happening. Yes, these folks need to be arrested. But statistically speaking, these kind of things are higher, and regular shoplifting is down. Yeah, but yeah, how about if you steal $1 million in taxes? Exactly.
What about how does a business ever get to stay in business?
How does the Trump organization ever have to stay in business if they ever have to pay taxes, Sean? Yeah.
Business that way. They rarely get arrested and almost never get prosecuted. But according to Joe Biden, the real problem in this country, that's Americans who lawfully exercise your Second Amendment rights, your
No, it's people who unlawfully exercise a Second Amendment right they don't have, like felons with guns and straw purchases. You dumb fuck.
constitutional rights. Watch this.
The idea you need a weapon that can have the ability to fire 20, 30, 40, 50, 120 shots from that weapon, whether it's a 9mm pistol or whether it's a rifle, is ridiculous. I'm continuing to push to eliminate.
Yeah, it is. If you need that many shots, you're only shooting at cops or involved in gang warfare. If you need that many shots for home self-defense, what the fuck kind of magic elixir do you have?
The sale of those things.
Okay, Joe, I own 9mm weapons. I even have a license to carry a 9mm weapon. It's a handgun. It's one of the most basic self-defense weapons.
Apparently you don't have a license for the magazine, though.
And there is no 120 clip magazine for a 9mm pistol that I've ever.
Thank you, CSL. Nine millimeter, 50 round, 40 round drum magazine. This is a lovely picture. Right here you go. And by the way, he's not just talking about handguns. He was talking about AR-15s and the like. But there you go. How about this guy? How about this, Sean? May I? Because we looked at this once before. Let's see. I'll have to bring up something real quick. It'll probably make me choppy for a moment while I bring up too many pages. This always happens. Let's see. Modified full auto handgun. Let's look at, okay. Here you go.
100-round drum mag.
Hold on. Here we go. This is a dude from Off Grid, but on Totally Rad. This took me all of 4 seconds to. Let's check this out.
Full auto Glock.
Sorry, what was that again? Hold on, they're gonna drive down this thing. He's going where? He gets injured because something. Ooh, God, what the hell? Does he get shot? What's he have? You fire this thing? I guess so. Okay, at some point during this full auto fun piece of shrapnel found its way. Okay, so he's firing. This is fun. This is the gun that Sean Hannity says does not exist.
There's something in there. Yeah. You want to?
Yeah, he got a piece of shrapnel in his shoulder. Sean, what doesn't exist? Hey, Sean Hannity. You fucking dunce. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Hannity is a dipshit. Yeah, sorry. What was that again, Sean? What was it? What was that? I forget. I have to check in with what you were lying?
No 120 clip magazine for.
First of all, there's no such thing as clip magazine, noob. Do you know how much shit you get online if you call a magazine a clip?
And there is no 120 clip magazine for a 9mm pistol that I've ever heard of.
Oh, hold on. Where is this? Here we go. That's nutty. So are we supposed to get on a technicality because this is technically only a 100-round drum mag? Is that where you're getting? Yeah, this looks like self-defense to me. You know what I mean? That doesn't look at all like something a drug dealer or anybody like that would. Yeah, no, that's totally all right. So what do you need to get, Sean? What do you? Let's see. They got other stuff in there. What's this? Micro conversion for a Glock. Here you go. You can convert your Glock to hold. There you go. Click that right onto your MC K 2.0. There you go. That's this thing right there. Just link that. This is lovely. This is good. This is for deer hunting. Sorry, Sean, I beg your pardon. You were being a dumbass?
But I'm open to seeing it if you could show it to me.
I'm not playing you show me yours with Sean, but goddamn, this is dumb.
But I wouldn't expect Joe Biden to know that because he barely seems to know what day of the week.
Hey, fuckstick. He doesn't actually have a Glock that he carries. He's never needed one. He's a big advocate of self-defense shotguns. You fucking tool. You know what he does know? He knows more about handguns and the available aftermarket parts for them than you do, you dumbass. Look at that. They're making bacon. He's cooking bacon with a silencer. There you go. Or with that. There you go, John. Yeah, that's good. He just said ow right then because one of the shells went into his shoulder. Yeah. Sorry, Sean?
Week it is, and doesn't really seem to have a firm grasp on any issues of any substance. And sometimes, well, it seems like he's living in this, alternate reality of his. In fact, get this, according to Joe, there's no
dude, did you get that far fucking adrift from your own teleprompter? This is, by the way, when he does this, this is him going back to what was in there. Look at this. Look at the look on his face. That is a person rejoining the teleprompter in progress. They have stopped it, and they're like, all right, he'll pick up when he fucking, I don't know where he went.
There's no longer a crisis at our southern border. This is what they call, well, at Burger King, a Whopper with cheese and double bread and double
bread. Yeah, that's what people ask for. Fucking hell! Sean! God damn it! You can't shit on Biden for not being able to put a thought together and then say Whopper with cheese and double bread. Double bread?
Burger King,
what the?
At our southern border. This is what they call, well, at Burger King, a Whopper with cheese and double bread and double, meat.
Fucking hell! Oh, bro. How the double bread and double meat? And who does this when they're double meat? Well, obviously, Trump when he's...
Look.
We have been able to move significantly to change the number. There were thousands of people in custody with the Border Patrol. It's now cut by 90%. It's considerably down.
Stay on script.
What was that? Oh! What was that, Sean? Because, dude, you had a hot mic moment.
90%. It's considerably down.
Stay on script.
You want to stay on the script? His producer's telling him that he is fucking rambling. That's...
Of people
listen to this.
In custody with the Border Patrol. It's now cut by 90%. It's considerably down.
Stay on script. All right, Joe, there are fewer migrants in DHS custody because your administration, I'll tell you.
Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear, you want to stay on script? Because his producer in his ear is going, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Who has double bread? What the fuck is the matter with you? You can't crap on Biden for having cognitive disorders and shit the bed this badly, veering off prompter. Double bread. His producers just told him to stay on script.
Tell you why. You are releasing them all over the country. And of course, migrants continue to pour across the southern border in droves. Here we got the numbers for June.
Define drove.
Yep, another record.
And all border officials encountered migrants were there 188,829 times, the largest number in a single month in recent history. Recent history. Huh. Do you think that number would be that high if there hadn't been a Remain in Mexico thing and a good portion of these folks hadn't just been waiting, so the regular stream hadn't been interrupted, kind of like damming a river for a while and then releasing the dam and then everything else comes through and, man, the basement's flooded. You don't think it's something like that? Recent history. Is it going to...
188,000 migrants entering our country illegally, and that's only the numbers that we know about. Now, this...
Either that or they're encountering almost all of them.
This is in the New York Times, Joe.
I mean, let's not kid ourselves. If you catch all of the criminals that commit a crime, the number of crime, the amount of crime on, statistically is going to go up because you're seeing the actual criminals. If a bunch of them get through, the numbers could be lower. If you suddenly are better at getting them, your number's going to be higher.
Oh, and I assume you're still able to read, but I digress. The next lie from Joe Biden, that would involve inflation, which every American is feeling, and it's really bad. Watch.
The feeling is bad or the inflation is bad?
Guess what? Instead of paying 10 cents, you're paying 20. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It relates to what, in fact, is now needed because we're growing. I don't know anybody, including Larry Summers, who's a friend of mine, who's worried about inflation, is suggesting that there's any long-term march here if we do the things we're going to do.
So the economist that Joe is referring to has a name. His name is Lawrence Summers, and he literally wrote an op-ed entitled, "The Inflation Risk is..."
Risk? Yeah, but they have to do the things they're going to do. Sean, look, we've already established tonight that you carry a gun you know nothing about. You can't string a sentence together without the teleprompter or someone saying in your ear, stay on script. And now we know that you have shit in your ears and can't relate it to anything you read. Because what Biden was saying was, if we do the things we need to do, we're not worried about inflation long term.
Is real. Articles in the Wall Street Journal, articles in Forbes and Bloomberg also discuss.
Sean, his article is in the Washington Post.
Articles in the Wall Street Journal, articles in Forbes and Bloomberg also discuss the long-term inflation risk. It's getting bad. We even now are calculating the misery index that we really...
Several more months of rapid inflation before easing worries about housing impact. Yeah. Deflation is the real long-term problem because you've got a bottleneck in the supply chain, and once it opens up again, all these products that people couldn't get anywhere because of COVID are going to dump onto the market, cratering everything. You tool. Deflation can be as big a problem. It can undermine like almost every industry. So this is something you have to worry about. But if all you're worried about is inflation because politically you think that helps you, then what you ultimately do is you don't solve the problem that's actually coming.
We really haven't measured since Jimmy Carter, and even Biden's own Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen.
Yeah, but there wasn't a pandemic at any point during the Carter administration.
Yellen warned of months of rapid inflation.
Well, Sean, do me a favor. Look, we know you love to take clips of Biden speaking and other people speaking, and then you cut off the end of the sentence to make it look like they said something they didn't, or you're the king of contextual editing. But when we can all see before easing, it kind of fucks up your whole talking point. Next time, have your dude at Fiverr just stop right here. Yellen sees several more months of rapid inflation. That's still technically true minus context, and you could sell your own viewers on that bullshit for quite some time. Someone in the booth is fucking with you, Sean.
Maybe Joe missed that meeting, or maybe he just forgot.
Hey, maybe you can't fucking read.
Or maybe he just sent Kamala Harris to do more of the jobs that he's supposed to do. Now, inflation is not only, a glaring concern in the Biden economy, another
Bidenflation.
serious problem surrounds the massive labor shortage. That's real, too. In many cases, businesses now are completely unable to fill job openings because of Biden's...
Yeah, because we would have been able to handle this. We would have even been able to end the UI sooner. Except for the Delta variant is fucking everybody into a cocked hat. And I can't imagine who it was that told people that the vaccine, that's your choice. It's not a big deal. If you flip a coin.
Generous COVID-19 handouts that continue to go on.
So people don't die of the Delta variant because they work in states or in cities like Los Angeles where you got 4 million unvaccinated people.
But don't worry, according to Joe, if you're a business owner, you can just magically print money and pay everyone more, and you're probably going to have to suffer more. Kind of sounded like Jimmy Carter saying, lower your heat and put a sweater on. Take a look.
Okay, I'm waiting for this to sound like Jimmy Carter telling people to put on sweaters.
Guess is that people being $7, $8 an hour plus tips, that's, I think, John, you're going to be finding $15 an hour or more now.
You said we're going to end the things that may be keeping people.
Why would he get a round of applause if no one in the audience knew what he was talking about?
Back. You think that's the unemployment benefits?
Well, that
expanded?
was argued it was. I don't think it did much, but the point is it's argued that because the extended unemployment benefits kept people, they'd rather stay home and not work than go to work.
You don't think it did that?
I see no evidence it had any serious impact on it.
And yes, there you have yet another lie from
I see no evidence that it had a serious impact on it. How many people are on unemployment insurance every year? Hold on a second. Okay. As far as the workforce in general. Let's see. Sorry if it makes me choppy a little bit for a moment. Let's see. Number. Let's see. Let's go. Unemployment number insurance. I try to find the actual. Let's see. That's giving me just the local number. I need. Let's see. U.S. I'll put a U.S. on there. 7 days ago. This is the July. Here we go. Let's find out. Transmission materials and release embargoed until 8:30 a.m. News release. Unemployment insurance weekly claims. In the week ending July 17th, the advance figure for seasonally adjusted initial claims was 419,000, an increase of 51,000 from the previous week's revised level. The previous week's level was revised up by 8,000 from 360 to 368. The 4-week moving average was 385,250, an increase of 750 from the previous week's. The previous week's average was revised up by 2,000 from 382,500 to 384,500. Seasonal adjusted initial claims. Seasonally adjusted insured unemployment. This is July 18th, 17th claim. Normally, when you look at a graph that shows a rising problem, it leans the other direction. Let's see. Maybe it gets worse. Unadjusted data. Here you go. Here's last year. Let's see. Here's when Trump was... The dotted line is when Trump was president. And this is this year. This is the not seasonally adjusted. This is the number of people unemployed. You know, not the people who like ski resorts during the summertime and the like. This is going down. This is better. This is better. And then this is last year when Trump shit the bed. Pa-pow! March, April, May, June, July. March, April, May, June, July. And look at the June, July not seasonally adjusted insured unemployment here. This is the last 52 weeks. This is March to June. This is February. This is January. Here you go. There's Biden coming into office right about here. And here's Biden coming into office right around there. There we go. So, total number of continued weeks claimed for benefits, claims for benefits in all programs for the week ending July 3rd was 12,573,833. A decrease of 1.2 million from the previous week. There were 32,935,407 weekly claims filed for benefits in all programs in a comparable week in 2020. Let's see. Do we have another graph in here? Oh, here we go. These initial claims. These are first starters. Initial claim forward moving average. These are people going in and out. So the weekly claims go up, but then the rolling claims. Those are depends on the state, how how they make you sign up for it. Pandemic unemployment's 110,000. July 17th, July 26th, 96,000. There's a lot of. By the way, this is a spike caused by the Delta variant. People not going to fucking work. I'm not going to go die for this burger flipping job, no matter how much Sean Hannity thinks I deserve to die. Yeah, they can't talk about lumber prices anymore. I went back to normal. Yeah.
From Joe Biden. According to multiple reports, the Biden unemployment benefits are keeping workers home. And get this, the jobless rate, sadly, it just went up again. But according to Biden, well, who has, by the way, never actually worked in a business. He's been in the swamp, the sewer for, what, 50 plus years.
What did you do? Fucking flip pancakes, you yapper? I've been doing my radio show for, what, 12 years now? And in that time, I was, and the previous live stream on it, if you include that, I also was on Queer as Folk, all the I Love Thes, toured the nation doing stand-up, had Lab Rats, Dude, Where's My Car, Spider-Man 2, and Sean, you've been sitting in the same fucking chair this whole time.
Years.
Oh, I'm sorry. You do a radio version of this exact same shit every day.
Maybe 500, depending how you do math, outside of Hunter's pay-for-play schemes. He did make money there.
No, he didn't. That's, by the way, that's an allegation, and what you're saying is criminal now. Bring your evidence,
Fair.
asshole.
We got to report all his income. We now know that he directly benefited from zero experience, Hunter. Now, these greedy business owners.
How? I mean, normally I would just move on from Sean's bullshit right now. How? From the alleged laptop? Show it. Sean Hannity, show me a picture of the fucking... Bring Rudy Giuliani on and have him hold up the fucking laptop. And then have him walk you through how he doesn't have the laptop, he's just got a stack of hard drives, that one of which he brought back from Ukraine, and that he's been doling out these things, and they allegedly have child porn on them, and then explain why you had a hard drive with child porn in your studio and you didn't call the police.
Owners just have to pay people more money. Okay, how much are other people willing to pay for a hamburger, cheeseburger, French fries? You know, between the lying, the insults, the stammering, the, confusion of Joe Biden, well, that town hall was, to say the least, tough to watch for the few people that actually watched it. One Washington Post reporter noted, quote, President Biden has said not a joke at least 7 times the past 30 minutes. In other words, it's not a joke, literally. Sad, but it's...
We know you can read that. Sean, you've literally used that talking point about, I used to joke about this, but it's too serious now. You have, since Biden has become president, he says this shit nonstop. Fucking hell.
It's true. This is your president. You decide.
Yes, I like him. I like his work. And it does not bother me that he has a speech impediment. Nothing about it bugs me. You have no excuse. We know that Biden's had a stutter his whole life. What is your excuse, Sean? If I stammer and fuck up a word and I catch it, because sometimes I'm talking so fast it zips right by, but most of the time, you guys see, I'm like, what did I just say? Yeah, my lips work. I'll correct myself because I'm aware. I don't like to actually breeze past a mispronunciation and just move on. I don't know that Sean Hannity is capable of recognizing when he mispronounces something or when he inverts the meaning of a sentence. Because we've seen today 6 times in this show, we have seen Sean Hannity say the opposite of what he meant to say or have some weird non sequitur about double bread.
Decide again.
It really has. Not a joke. No, I'm not joking. Not a joke.
Oh, boy. Hold on.
It really has. Not a joke.
Okay, not a joke is the phrase. Not a joke is the phrase. And by the way, that's like, for him, it's his way of saying no kidding. And in a lot of ways, I'm not kidding. If you say that right, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm not messing with you. Those kind of things. There's a very strong chance that he has a stutter, because of his stutter, he doesn't say that phrase. He came up with not a joke as one of his ways of saying that. Now, saying that, what was the thing about the tweet? President Biden has said not a joke at least 7 times over the past 30 minutes. Not a joke, literally.
Yes.
Okay.
In other words, it's not a joke, literally.
No, not in other words. You're not paraphrasing Matt Visor's tweet, by the way, Sean. You just read the end of it as if you thought of it. Honestly, do you smell burnt toast, Sean? I'm becoming genuinely worried.
Sad, but it's true. This is your president. You
Okay, let's hear the proof.
decide again.
It really has. Not a joke. No, I'm not joking.
Oh, boy. I'm not joking is not him habitually saying not a joke. Doesn't count. Judges, anybody who, I need a judge's ruling on this. If we're going to hammer him for saying not a joke, and the graphic itself says not a joke, not a joke, not a joke, and he says I'm not joking, that doesn't count. Then you're opening up, I'm not kidding. No, if he says for real, does that count too?
Yeah.
It really has. Not a joke. No, I'm not joking. Not a joke. Not a joke. Not a joke.
Yeah, but repeating it for emphasis is not the same thing. He's not lost in the sentence. That doesn't count either. You're double counting. Because if I go, I'm serious, that doesn't mean I am repeating the word I'm serious because I'm losing control of my mental faculties. Emphasis doesn't count.
Not a joke. I'm not joking.
See, I'm not joking still doesn't count. That's another one. I like, again, doesn't count.
Not a joke. Come on, man. Did you use cocaine? Are you a junkie? Now, that was a moment during the campaign, one of the rare moments he left his basement bunker. I guess the only saving grace.
What the fuck? Sean, back up. Does anybody know what the shit he's talking about?
Did you use cocaine?
Not a joke. Not a joke. Not a joke.
Yeah. He says it twice for emphasis those times. When he does say it, he says it twice for emphasis sometimes. If I go, come on, man, come on. I think there's something wrong with him. He keeps saying, come on. Like you're throwing it in every other sentence. Like, for fuck's sake.
I'm not joking.
Okay, now, does anybody know where Sean is going with this? Because I'm not privy to all the moments that he's discussing or that he reviews constantly on his show, or that this might just be a callback his audience fucking loves. But let's just say you've rolled up on Sean Hannity's show. You've never seen the show before. Or you don't watch regularly. You're a Tucker person, and you fell asleep with the Daily Stormer website up, and you're like, shit, I'm missing Fox. And you flick over and this guy's on, and you're like, oh, well, let's see what he has to say. Would you know what the fuck he's talking about right here?
Not a joke. Come on, man. Did you use cocaine? Are you a junkie? Now, that was a moment during the campaign, one of the rare moments he left his basement bunker. I guess the only saving grace for the Biden administration is that very few people saw it. More people watched our town hall from Miami. And look at this. The auditorium for Joe was half empty.
And?
Wow.
And? It's a set. Who cares? I mean, whatever they're setting it up for it. They had a number of people. They had a limited number of people there because of the Delta variant, and he's the president of the United States. If he dies, it's important. However, yours with Trump, if any of you got sick, nobody, I mean, there might be a ruffle in the ad rev at Fox for about a week, but then everybody would go, fuck it. Nobody cares.
Doesn't look like a Trump rally in any way, does it?
No, it doesn't. There's no assholes in Q sweaters. Nobody there is, is sun-bleached and dehydrated.
And while many on the left would like to ignore Joe Biden altogether, well...
No, I watched the town hall, and I retweet him a lot, actually. I like what he has to say. I loved how he stomped that reporter with the QAnon reference yesterday or late last night.
Well, it's way past time that the administration answers serious questions about the president's clear cognitive decline.
Okay, fuckhead. Clear cognitive decline. Sean, you edited together clips intentionally to make Biden look like he has cognitive decline. You took shit out of context on purpose. You doubled up on your accusations and failed miserably. And then, in between those moments, those edited moments that you are intentionally building to carry your narrative, you fucked up live on national television at least a dozen times. Nobody knew what the fuck you were talking about. Your own producer had to go in your ear and go, stay on script. And you went, okay, stay on script. And then you still wandered off into double bread. I think that was before it. Honest to God. Honest to God. Like, have you ever seen a swing and a miss like this? I don't watch Sean Hannity regularly, so that, maybe he was having a bad night. Maybe his vape pen was out. Maybe he just woke up from his nap and didn't get his sippy cup. It used to not be funny, but now it's a joke. I guess it's an inversion of this. Joe Biden with a stutter, it took you and your editors all fucking day to cut something together that weakly carried your narrative that he has some sort of cognitive decline. And your own producer, you had a hot mic where your producer had to tell you to stay on script because you were wandering off the reservation and nobody knew what the fuck you were talking about, John. You're a moron. This is amazing.
It is no longer in dispute. But don't expect tough questions from the media mob. They will keep him.
We went back to mob. Remember when he said mob a bunch of times? Should I put in a ding sound effect every time you say mob, Sean?
In the media mob big tech.
Fucking hell. I didn't call that one.
Protection program at all costs. And needless to say, this probably, will be the last town hall we'll see in a very long time. Hey, Sean Hannity here.
No, actually, there'll be one this fall, probably around the infrastructure bill. And then moving on to voting rights to continue that forward. He's probably going to do one a quarter. God damn, that's dumb. I don't know why I think that the Fox hosts would be better at what they do just out of habit. All right. That's amazing. By the way, Sean, effectively, I own you. I mean, there is no way. Like, I know that most of your viewers will never see this clip or this episode of my show, but from this point forward, you're trapped. You are trapped. You will never get out of the box I have put you in. I instantly, and without the help of a live staff of people or anybody in my ear telling me to stay on script, was able to rebuke and rebut every stupid point, at least the cogent ones, that you were attempting to make that were in the script, with 2 clicks of a mouse and some typing. It wasn't even difficult. Honestly, I'm shocked. I am shocked that Hannity's show is this lame. Yeah. By the way, share this clip with everybody at Fox News. Just saying. I'll definitely go on Hannity's show anytime and call him out on any of this nonsense. Live, with no hesitation. And I guarantee if he ever brought me on, it would involve my mic being cut. Guarantee it. The end of the segment will involve my mic being cut. And not because I'm being rude or a dick or anything like that. Speaking of rude dicks, Junior is back in his in the serial killer's house from, I think, The Fall is the Gillian Anderson show, so something like that. Hold on, I have a hair caught behind my earbud. That happens. These are first world problems, first class hair problems. Okay, we don't have a, you know, I'm not sure what this one's even about. All right, this one's, Liz Cheney comes out with another moronic statement. So this is, I guess, her on the steps. This is the same piece, by the way, that we saw him talk about, probably. I don't know, because like I said, I'm never going to watch this asshole twice if I have to. When he was on, what clip did we use? Was it Fox? Or was it, I don't remember. Anyways, guys. Okay, guys. We'll find out. It's the same. Let's see if he's got a repetition problem like Hannity does.
Okay, guys, check this.
Okay, guys. Okay. Do you think he winds himself up like and pushes play like? Okay, guys, clip, roll it.
This is Lincoln Project Liz Cheney. Yeah, daughter of Dick Cheney is now a beloved fighter for democracy. Could it be?
Well, the illusion, I guess the illusion is that Republicans ever fought for democracy, but yeah.
Because she's selling out her constituency, the
How?
most conservative state in the union in Wyoming.
Well, I mean, they got 2 senators and less than 1 million people, I think, right?
Could it be because she's giving the Democrats everything that they're looking for, and they can then say it's bipartisan? Check this out, watch the commentary, and I'll be back with some of my own.
Oh boy, it's gonna watch it, guys. I'm not quite sure if this is the model that does he watch like videos on like a successful Rumble careers. Do they have YouTube has a YouTube creators camp you can digitally go to and watch videos like how to make your stuff more compelling, how to raise numbers of super chats. By the way, super chat, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hi. Don't forget, you can also fire away at the bits. And thank you, Shadow Woman and Ninka Crinkles and Norman Fox for the subscriptions and the gift subscriptions to everybody. I appreciate that. He does 5 push-ups and 6 lines of coke before he hits record. Yeah. Yeah, so he's talking about Liz Cheney being on the January 6th thing. And my guess, he's going to go to the clip of her on the Capitol steps.
My own.
Did you personally urge the speaker to take this step?
I agree with what the speaker has done.
And also, McCarthy, of course, wants to become speaker next year. Do you think that he deserves to be speaker in the aftermath of his actions here?
I think that any person who would be third in line to the presidency must demonstrate a commitment to the Constitution and a commitment to the rule of law. And Minority Leader
That's a no, by the way.
McCarthy has not done that.
Last question. Are there other Republicans that you or Speaker Pelosi believe should be part of this investigation? The other 3 you mentioned that
besides Kitzinger,
she did not veto are not going to participate. Are there others? Are there other colleagues you've spoken?
Almost anybody. Seriously. The problem that Kevin McCarthy has is that he can't find 2 more Jim Jordans and Jim Bankses.
There are many Republicans, the vast majority of the Republicans.
Except they won't toe the line.
Republicans, both in the House as well as across the country, recognize and understand that this was an assault on our democracy, an assault on our Constitution, and that there must be a fact-based investigation so that this never happens again. And we cannot allow those voices who are attempting to prevent the American people from getting the
That is, by the way, Colonel Sanders leaving. We'll see it. There'll be a person from QAnon later watching the limo.
Truth to prevail, and we certainly will not allow that.
Okay, so that's Lincoln Project Liz up there.
Dude, you call her Lincoln Project Liz twice. You had to write it down in a note right there. All right, dirt on my hand. That's not nice. I was cleaning earlier. He's reading a note right there. You know how he puts like Post-its on his phone or some shit, whatever he's doing for these things.
They're talking about Kevin McCarthy.
Guys, I get to read my Post-its. I get to read my Post-its again. Guys, this is just off the top of my head. Lincoln Park Liz doesn't know that she's crawling in her skin. Right.
McCarthy, she doesn't think that a person that's third in line for the presidency, they need to demonstrate more commitment to the Constitution. What? How is Nancy Pelosi, who's currently in that position, demonstrating a commitment to the Constitution?
by having a bipartisan group and even adding Republicans to it, and only wanting 2 of them, specifically the ones that were involved in the Stop the Steal groups, have taken pictures with people who are being charged for actions on the 6th, only rejecting those 2. That would be the start of it.
She has Adam Schiff, Adam full of Schiff, as his nickname is, for lying to the...
As his nickname is. Oh, God.
The American public.
I'm sorry, but your dad literally became president on his ability to insult people and I guess roast them. And the apple does fall far from the tree.
He can be on a commission, but Jim Jordan, the ranking Republican on the House Judiciary Committee,
who took pictures with people who were involved in the Stop the Steal gathering and who are implicated in strategically planning the assault on the Capitol, can't be. Yeah, that's how it works.
Cannot be on it.
Right, correct.
Jim Banks, okay, who leads
the
largest caucus in Congress, he cannot be on it either.
No. The size of your caucus does not determine whether or not you're a good American. Luckily, well, for your dad.
I wonder why. Could it be because maybe they put up some arguments that are good, so they got Liz Cheney?
So the other 3 won't? So the just for the record, I would like to take a break for a moment. Not a broke. We'll take a break for a moment from our normally scheduled bullshit and remind everybody that while he's defending Banks and Jordan, he is also at the same time shitting on the other 3 members, and they cannot be trusted to ask the tough questions. Somehow, they're incapable of asking the same tough questions that Jim Jordan and Banks did. They're useless, as are every other member of the House Republicans.
Cheney. They got Adam Kinzinger, the other sort of Liz Cheney type rhino out there, who will tell whatever you need to get a little love from the media.
Who will tell whatever you need to get a little love from the media. I see you've gone to the Sean Hannity School of Elocution.
Doesn't matter what their constituency wants. Doesn't matter that they're supposed to be Republican.
Well, it's the constituency, 60% of them want the infrastructure bill, but none of them are voting for it, so.
The Democrats and Nancy Pelosi can say, look, it's bipartisan.
Well, the other 3 guys obviously weren't picked by Nancy Pelosi, and McCarthy won't even let them on the commission, which is going to happen. Won't let those 3 members of his caucus have subpoena power or ask for subpoenas of certain people because he doesn't trust them unless, I guess, Jim Jordan and Banks are holding their balls when they ask questions.
She's being used, and she's loving every second of the attention. But this is...
Someone projecting?
This is exactly what we're up against, folks. They want...
the world's tiniest roach?
Want a stacked deck.
Well, if they want a stacked deck, why do they include the other 3?
Liz
and 2 other Republicans.
Cheney thinks that Kevin McCarthy isn't fighting for the constitutional values. Is the Constitution...
Yeah, the constitutional values.
Based on a one-sided tactic where Nancy Pelosi can use unprecedented measures to remove people that may be able to articulate a point well.
So the other 3 guys can't articulate a point well. Let's put the Jordan Banks thing to the side for a moment and just understand that this is an argument that the other 3 people that Kevin McCarthy suggested to be on the committee. Let's see. I should know their names, but I mean they're extras, so I don't know why I would. McCarthy, January 6th, Republicans. There you go. Let's see. It's got to have the... Okay, it makes his pick. There it is. Hold on. One second. McCarthy makes his 5 picks for the January 6th commission. So, beyond the 2 that were removed, but beyond Jim Banks, let's see. Who are the... McCarthy chairs of the panel. Let's see. The other members include, so Rodney Davis, Illinois Rep. Rodney Davis, a moderator who serves as the top Republican on the House Administration Committee. Let's see. Kelly Armstrong, and Troy Nels. For the record, according to Kevin McCarthy and Donald Trump Jr. and everyone at Fox News, and apparently the entirety of the giant Republican caucus that they like wagging about, Davis, Nels, and Armstrong are useless morons, cannot be trusted, are probably Democrats, and wouldn't, I guess, could... the biggest argument, can they not ask the tough questions? Are they incapable of forming sentences? We'll find. He'll tell us.
That may be on the opposite side of the narrative. It's not like she doesn't have enough help from big tech and from mainstream media.
You left off the word mob. By the way, so Davis, Armstrong, and Nels are obviously on the Nancy Pelosi side of the narrative. Then.
She has to get rid of anyone who'd actually make a reasoned argument.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why you can't count on... so for the record, all Republicans believe that Illinois Representative Rodney Davis... let's see. North Dakota Representative Kelly Armstrong and Troy Nels from Texas cannot be trusted, are part of Nancy Pelosi's secret plot to take over control and run a dictatorship for communist socialist Cuba in America, and probably baby eaters, probably pedivores, probably part of the cabal at this point. So yeah, Davis, Armstrong, and Nels couldn't find their ass with both hands, are run-of-the-mill rhinos. Call them out.
Against the insanity that they're
against. All right.
Trying to push as it relates to January 6th, the persecution of people that have been there, the
persecution of people that are been there is cruel and unusual, like your use of language.
Persecution and future persecution of anyone who's a conservative, a Republican, someone who voted for Trump. This is the crap that has to stop. And this is why, Liz...
Yeah, it's all a big plot. It's all FEMA camps. This is where we're going with this. First you kick 2 people off of the committee for actually playing footsie with the people who attacked the Capitol and arranged for the attack on the Capitol. And that's a slippery slope to FEMA camps.
Should have a very, very...
Dude, pinching your fingers together to just remind yourself that you have to record this video and it must stop at a certain time is aggravating.
Short-lived tenure as a Republican in the state of Wyoming. So I look forward to seeing her there during...
She's a lifelong Republican.
A primary, if she wins during a general, because with Republicans like Liz Cheney, who really needs Democrats? She's just being used as a useful idiot,
Well, I mean, at least she's got some use, I mean, it's better to have a useful idiot, I suppose, than these useless idiots, Rodney Davis, Kelly Armstrong, and Troy Nels. I mean, they're literally useless. Kevin McCarthy could have had them on the panel and pulled them.
As a tool of Nancy Pelosi to push her absolute...
To put or push, pushing, put a push on something.
Nonsense. I think Liz even knows that probably, but she's just happy with it. Hey guys, we could get a photo op and I'll get a job at CNN in a couple months when I'm thrown out of Congress. These are the people who represent us, guys.
Yeah, that's the best you can do, quite frankly. The fact that the only saviors of your party right now are the likes of Liz Cheney, I have to say I'm enjoying this. And by the way, this entire segment was brought to you by our joy at watching the Republicans eat themselves. That's our sponsor.
Keep watching and don't let it happen.
Keep watching and don't let it happen. It's hard to even know what... All right. I'm starting to get a brain hitch of my own just watching... I think we've all gotten slightly dumber watching Sean Hannity and then Don Jr. But bringing it home... I got a couple minutes left. Mark Levin, here he is on, I don't know who this guy is. He's on after Tucker or something, I think. The great one, which is what this guy calls that guy, who wants to talk about the success of his book, American Marxism. And I'm sure, let's see, what's the name of this though? This is We Are Peaceful, but We Are Pissed Off, Mr. Producer. Now, this is he's mad as heck, and he might not take it for much longer. It's not quite as it's like the one ball version of his mad as hell and not going to take it anymore.
The great one, Mark Levin's brand.
That's what he calls him.
New book, American Marxism. Not only did it debut week 1 on the New York Times bestseller list, no. Mark's
#1 New York Times best-selling author. Right? Oh, so the book didn't make it. It got on the list of the bestsellers. I see. So it didn't do as well as the other one. That's why you're on Hannity promoting it. That's okay. Maybe you gotta sell books.
Hardcover sales, that's only hardcover, sold over 329,000 copies. Now,
that's amazing. And I mean, how many of those were bought by CPAC?
Now, that number
and handed out like as laminates. You can either walk around with your laminate and get it in other things, or you can wear a copy of my book around your neck like a ball and chain.
Does not include e-books. A lot of people.
No, I wouldn't include that.
Buy their books and they read it on whatever tablet or iPad they may have, or even
any tablet or iPad they may
their
have.
phones. It doesn't include audio books. It is an incredible achievement. Mark's new book is now outsold the next 15 books combined in the country. That's an incredible statistic. He's the host of Life, Liberty, Levin, and his own nationally syndicated.
Yeah, he looks very excited. And he doesn't look like he's having to sell this book hard at all still.
Radio show, I call him the great one, Mark Levin.
Yeah, you already did that part. Sean, you're repeating yourself again. And do you smell burnt toast?
Levin. Well,
we're going to have to ask him that every time if I don't want to repeat myself.
You know, I did tell you, in my humble opinion, we've been friends for decades.
We haven't really, but in my opinion, we've been friends for decades. Freudian slip, anybody?
I said, Mark, when you sent me an early copy, I said, I think this is your best book. And you know what
yeah, even before I read it, I just loved the title and the cover.
Fan I was of everything from Liberty and Tyranny to Rescuing Sprite even, but this is...
Rescuing Sprite?
It's a timely book.
Hold on. Does he have a book called Rescuing Sprite? Why does he give a... Hold on. Rescuing Sprite? Oh. It's about his dog? Mark Levin has a dog rescue book? His dog's name is Sprite? Yeah. It's here in Thrift Books. It's $4.19. Who would have thought I'd write a book about a dog named Sprite? Well, actually, about a dog named Pepsi, too, and another one named Griffin. Every dog lover has a dog story. This is mine. For most of my life, Mr. Producer, my passions have involved big goals and big thoughts. Spent my career as a lawyer and a broadcaster, working on constitutional issues, writing about public policy, and talking about current events. I've served at the highest level of our government. I've written a book about the Supreme Court, so why write a book? Because I am, first and foremost, a dog lover. I've loved many dogs. I've laid down with fleas and gotten up with dogs. Few things in life have given me the kind of joy, and frankly, sorrow, as my relationship with dogs. And this is especially so with an older dog we rescued from a local shelter. We call him Sprite. Sprite was found one day roaming the streets of Silver Spring, Maryland. We believe he lost his original family, or they lost him. Something. I never got the quite clear story or whatever. We got to get Columbo in on this one. He was taken to a local shelter, Mr. Producer, and later handed over to his foster parents while awaiting a family to adopt him. We were lucky to be that family. Sprite was so beautiful. He had big brown eyes and the softest fur I'd ever touched. I'm getting a boner thinking about it. We also learned Sprite also suffered from serious, and you can't learn anymore. You have to buy the book. But it's a great book, and it can be yours in hardcover for $4.19. And no expense was spared making the cover. I sent my picture from my phone directly to the Publish It Yourself publisher, and it prints out the book and you can get it. It's one of Sean Hannity loved that book. He weeps, he cries himself to sleep every night reading the book. That's right.
Book for this moment. Tie it together to the moment today. What's happening in the country?
Yeah, make it actually seem like it makes sense, you know, and it isn't a book that you should have written like 5 years ago and nobody really gives a shit about now.
That's the 6-month mark of Joe Biden.
I can't even tell you, we're almost at 500,000 books now in a relatively short period of time. I'm going to tell you what's going on.
Tell us what's going on.
I was part of the Reagan Revolution.
Whoa, another hot mic. All right, every time Levin gets on, Sean goes and has a vape or takes a shit or something. Listen in the background. How many hot mics are we going to have on this goddamn show? Listen.
In a short period of time, I'm going to tell you what's going on. I was part of the Reagan Revolution.
It's called, it sounded like he said, it's called weak. Can you guys hear that?
What's going on? I was part of the Reagan Revolution.
It's called wheat? I'm not sure. Hold on.
What's going on? I was part of the Reagan Revolution.
It sounds like he's saying it's called weak.
I was part of the Tea Party movement. I was part of the Trump Revolution. There is a massive movement afoot.
It's what? Yeah. So if they only had 2 feet, it'd be a real movement.
It's not under the radar. People just aren't looking at it.
Yeah. People are ignoring something that's right in front of them. It's the angry, naked, orange guy in the room on the dining room table.
The silent majority is not going to be silent anymore. The American
No, they're definitely not.
people are furious with what's happening to their country. And by American people, I mean all American people who love this country, regardless of their color, their religion, their background. Red-blooded Americans. They are sick and tired of what...
As long as their blood is red, it's fine.
...they've seen in the first 6 months of this administration. They don't like the way they're being treated by the elites in the media. They don't like being looked...
Yeah, like Sean Hannity, where he like mocks people with cognitive disorders and then rambles.
...down upon by these phony professors who they bring on TV who trash them.
Aren't you a professor? Didn't you teach law?
They are disgusted with the teachers' unions. Parents all
yeah, that's the big thing. Teachers
over this country can't believe what's happened to elementary schools and secondary schools.
You mean masks because we can't vaccinate kids yet?
Parents go broke to send their kids to college, and now they're coming home on Thanksgiving or other days, and they don't know what's happened to them.
Yeah. I sent my kid off to college, and he comes back with some sort of, like, ideas about his own life. What? I got on the phone with Liberty University, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
We're paying for our own demise with tenured Marxist professors and administrators for schools that are
teaching economic philosophy, and so they have a tenured Marxist professor teaching Marxism so you can learn about it.
On our founding and our history.
I mean, you wouldn't be able to sell a book if that didn't exist. But.
Americans love their history. Americans love their history.
Well, yeah. We love our history more than we love Confederate history, for example. Fuck that shit.
Good, the bad, and the ugly.
Well, no, I mean, we don't love the ugly. We understand it, and we want to move past it. I'm not one of these assholes who thinks you don't have any regrets in life. That's just dumb. I don't have any regrets because everything you do makes you who you are. Yeah, well, I regret things so that I don't stay that person I was when I did the thing I regretted.
Americans are sent all over the world to fight wars for people who do not look like them.
Yeesh.
America's borders are wide.
By the way, I know a lot. Some of the people who went to fight the Germans didn't look British or French.
Open. We have a president of the United States who is violating our immigration laws, who signs executive orders like he's Benito Mussolini.
Does he like sign them like this?
We're sick and tired of hearing from San Francisco Nancy Pelosi and New York.
That's the best name you've got. San Francisco Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, that's where her district is.
New York City Chuck Schumer.
What about New York City Sean Hannity? How about we're sick and tired of hearing from New York City Mark Levin?
What they intend to do to our court system, those courts belong to us. Attacking separation of powers and our constitutional construct. We're tired of the way the family is trashed in this country?
Is it just me, or is he shaking in more than normal? This is really concerning.
Country, the family. We're tired of the way private property rights are treated in
he's like,
this country. We're tired of a lot of things going on in this country.
Yeah, you are, definitely. Like the removal of Nathan Bedford Forrest's bust from the Tennessee Capitol. I'm sure you're livid.
Now we, the people.
And that, by the way, for those of you who don't know, Mark Levin's pronouns are we, us.
We are peaceful. You won't find us running around with Molotov cocktails. You won't.
Well, no, I mean, like there were pipe bombs and stuff, but obviously you'll just. Why would you need a Molotov cocktail when you can beat a cop with a thin blue line flag?
Find us attacking cops. We defend the cops.
You did attack cops. What the fuck are you talking about?
You won't find us burning cities and so forth and so on. We're not mostly peaceful. We're 100% peaceful.
No. I would argue that the Bundy clan, for example, or the Timothy McVeighs of the world fall into the group that you're talking about.
But we are pissed off.
Oh, man. Look out. Here it comes. This has been a wind-up. Everybody, pull the blankets up. This is going to be gnarly.
And we have had enough.
Oh, boy. And we're not going to... Yeah, you commie.
And we're done talking about it.
Well, all right, so this is over? This segment's over? You're just done talking? Are you just going to get up and punch the camera? Do you know how beautiful it would be? It's like, we're done talking about it. Ha-pow! And then he just, from this point on, Mark Levin is not speaking anymore. He's just making guttural noises. What the hell's wrong with Mark Levin? He said he was done talking about it. He was just...
The idea that a book like this sells
You're still talking.
400,000 copies in 1 week and is well on the way to 500,000. I've been in these movements before. I saw what happened with Liberty and Tyranny in the Tea Party movement.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, there was a lot of people buying books and buying a little tricorn hat outfits and shit like that. And there was some pitiful marches and pushback against the ACA. And then it petered out.
We know our history. We are a great people. And we have people in this country who haven't contributed a damn thing to it. And not a damn thing to it.
But did they contribute a damn thing to it?
To tear it down and redistribute wealth. They sound like they're soapbox Marxists going on and on about we don't provide this, we don't provide that, and Bernie Sanders is going to provide it, and AOC is going to provide it. They don't know a damn thing about this country.
Is that how people talk? Have we heard? Is this how this works out? Is this? What time is this on MSNBC? I watch a lot of MSNBC. I haven't seen any of this. When is this? What is the material basis of this distribution process that you're going to dole this stuff out?
They use the benefits of capitalism to attack capitalism.
Yes, it's really funny when Marxists tweet from their iPhone. I agree.
They use liberty to attack liberty. They use
but at least they pronounce it correctly, unlike Trump.
Use the Constitution to attack the Constitution.
I'm seeing a trend here, linguistically.
I've been around a long time.
They use a long time to attack a long time.
And I'll be damned if I'm going to sit still for this. And
you are sitting still.
They don't understand the American people. The American people are not going to roll over and play dead.
No, you would have to roll over to play alive.
The American people are going to speak out. And let me...
Well, I thought they were done talking. Look, are they going to speak out or are they done talking? I'm so confused. Has anybody got a freshly printed agenda? I haven't...
Let me tell you what's going to happen in 2022.
Please, tell us, great prognosticator. It's been a long time since I've seen him prophesy anything. I forget how it goes. Does his forehead start glowing in the dark, or how's it work?
With the Manchin types and the
Manchin types. Oh, I don't know. You mean like Joe Manchin, or with people who live in mansions? I don't know.
Others who pretend to be moderates, who play footsies with these American Marxists. you're going to get blown out. In fact, every damn one of you is going to get blown out.
Sounds a little exciting, actually. I mean, is there a big Marxist contingent in West Virginia that's going to blow him out?
So kiss your career goodbye. You may have power now. You may be trying to force your will on the American people now, but it will not last. That's what's going on in this country. I feel it and I know it.
Sir, this is a Dairy Queen.
That's all I have to say.
Please don't cut to Sean Hannity actually wiping his ass.
Great one. I want to just say this about the book. Last thing, if you don't
Do you call him the great one, though?
mind.
I do mind.
Did
anybody hear what was happening in 2022 other than mansions going to get blown by progressives?
7 chapters in the book.
Uh-huh. Wait, what?
You lay out the case of the challenges this great country faces
Yeah, it is a great country. I agree.
at this current moment in time.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't want to write a book about the challenges before. It'd be a history book. And they obviously can't prognosticate because...
Chapter 7 is over 10,000 words, which is a lot for a chapter in any book.
Jesus Christ. Is that your excuse for not finishing it, Sean? Does this sound like a book report for somebody that never finished the book? This book, Crime and Punishment, has over 3,000 pages and 27 chapters in the version that I have. It has a cover, and the words on the front, Crime and Punishment, speak of the stories within about crime and about punishment.
Book. And we choose liberty. That's the answer. And I wrote you when I read it, I said, that's the answer. Great.
Sean, okay, remember the other segment we did where Sean Hannity was reading the tweet, and he read the end of the tweet like he thought it, but he read it verbatim? He just did that with a chapter of Levin's book. Listen to this.
It's the answer. And
Hold
I
on,
wrote
listen.
you when there's 7 chapters in the book.
There's 7 chapters in the book.
You lay out the case of the challenges this great country faces at this current moment in time.
Yeah, which is, I mean, one would think you would want to do that on a daily television show rather than a book, because if it's what we're, in this current moment, obviously change is the changeless state, so the book will be useless in about, well, it's already useless. But anyways, you were saying.
Chapter 7 is over 10,000 words, which is a lot for a chapter.
Thank you, Diana. And yes, Mark Levin is threatening us, but no one feels threatened.
Book. And we choose liberty. That's the answer.
Right. So 10,000 at the end of the chapter, it says, we choose liberty. That's the answer. And Sean Hannity called him up and said,
I wrote you when I read it. I
wrote him.
Said, that's the answer. Great job, sir. Congratulations.
Yeah, you heard that right. There's a reason why Mark Levin is staring off into nothingness.
Wrote you when I read it. I said, that's the answer.
Yeah, that's what it says. That's the last sentence of the 10,000 word chapter. We choose liberty. That's the answer is the last. Oh, God.
Great job, sir. Congratulations. Well done. And don't forget.
Thank you, Sean. God bless.
Amazon.com, Hannity.com, books.
Really? Just straight to Amazon. I guess you're going in alphabetical order. Does selling a book make your head shrink? Does it make actually narrow your skull some? It seems to. I'm just saying. It's a possibility. All right. So I think I have time for one more piece here. Hold on. If we don't get too far in. Now, you guys know that, obviously, poor Glenn Beck is a man in search of an image. Many people know that when he got married and he was going to have a kid, he didn't have a religion to bring his kids up in, so he went religion shopping and decided to become a Mormon because you get a free planet. As Joe Biden would say, not a joke. And I mean, the concept is a joke, but that's really what Glenn Beck did. And he and Mark Levin have the same, oh my God, here comes Marxism thing. And again, their big example are people like the Patrisse Cullors and the BLM movement, who are trained Marxists. Look, I'm doing my Don Jr. Easter bunnies. They're trained Marxists who bought $2 million in real estate, or Jimmy Dore, who is a avowed Marxist and bought $2 million in real estate. I guess I don't know why these guys don't get along with Marxists more, considering that it's like there's a Marxist real estate empire that's waiting to be had. Anyways, this is the left's favorite new buzzword, which, guys, I don't know if you know this, but we don't. I didn't know we had a favorite new buzzword, but we're about to find out what it is. It's going to be yours. It's probably mine already, but it is the key to Marxism. Okay? Here we go.
We obviously can't be violent. Look at the damage.
Whoa, hold on. Wait.
We obviously can't be violent. Look at the damage that has been done to the Republican movement, and we just January 6th just handed them everything they wanted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, yeah, no, I didn't want an attack on our democracy. It showed people who you really are. Is that what you mean?
And I think that's why that's why they didn't prepare for January 6th. As Nunes.
Yeah, that's what it was. We were like, you know what? We're going to take a Susan Sarandon approach, Let's just let it happen. And if somebody gets blinded or killed or tased till they have a heart attack, or a woman gets shot or another woman gets trampled to death, whatever, let's just let them build a gallows on the Capitol landscape. Because, ultimately, even if that awful happens, it'll work out on our benefit. Let's just let it slide.
Nunes just told us they're prepared for everything when there's a big event on the mall. They didn't have extra security. They didn't do anything for January 6th.
Normally I would get further into this before we jump into anything, but I feel it necessary, if I may, to reach down into my Twitter bag of tricks and grab a wonderful document that I posted just a day or so ago. Let's see, I have to scroll through some stuff. Oh, the wonderful things we have. Let's see. There's me on my own live stream. It's wonderful. It's just wonderful. Keep it there. There you go. Here we go. The Mueller report. There's Kavanaugh. There's this thing. And then the guy who doesn't run. And here we go. The crazy person. And then I know it's in here somewhere. I know how I can find it quicker. Let's see. Go back into the funny progressives and scroll back through to the things that I've said on my end of things. Yes, here we go. A wonderful document. I think we all enjoy, from the Secretary of Defense, Christopher Miller, denying the ability for National Guards people in D.C. to be staged or to have riot gear or to confront protesters. They could not conduct searches, seizures, arrests, or other similar direct law enforcement activity. They couldn't employ helicopters or any other air assets. They couldn't use intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance assets to conduct ISR or incident awareness and assessment activities. They couldn't employ any riot control agents. They couldn't interact physically with protesters except when necessary in self-defense or defense of others. But of course, since they were stationed far away, you could guarantee that didn't actually happen. They couldn't be issued weapons, ammunition, bayonets, batons, or ballistic protection equipment, such as helmets and body armor. I wonder why. I think it's probably they did that. Christopher Miller was doing that as the acting SecDef. He did that so that to help Democrats politically over the next 6 months.
They wanted that to happen.
No, I didn't.
My opinion.
Honestly, your opinions are for shit, Glenn.
So we can't obviously be violent in any way.
Yeah. We can't be violent anyway, but why does this feel like a wind up?
Them have that. But But I want to go a step further.
You want to go a step further than violence.
Last night in my Wednesday night special, I talked about the word...
Your Wednesday night special?
Praxis.
You talked about the word praxis.
Have you ever heard of the word praxis?
No.
No.
Okay. You'll hear it if you hang out with communists.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize every Wednesday Glenn Beck hangs out with communists.
Okay. Marxists.
Praxis Marxist? Is Marxism a form of praxism, or is praxism a form of Marxism?
Praxis is actually an old concept from Aristotle. It came up, 2,300 years ago.
So pre-Marx, I would guess.
And it is the idea that
Mr. Producer?
Action forms the basis of politics. Not thought, not legislation, but action. Okay? And it was revived.
Did Aristotle spray paint it using a stencil on the wall? Was he like, this is early Banksy? I don't know.
Arrived in the 19th.
Why is there a weird Pinocchio kind of silhouette behind it?
Century by a snake oil salesman named...
An old snake oil salesman.
Karl Marx. And praxis is actually the entire basis for his philosophy. Critical race theory have used Marxism to justify their own practice. The ends justify the means.
Their own practice or praxis?
Have to take action now. Okay, how many times have you heard that?
Well, I heard it on January 6th a lot, if that's what you mean. I heard Trump say shit like that at every one of his rallies since.
We have to take action now. When Joe Biden was talking about sending people door to door, what did that remind you? When he said,
it reminded me of Girl Scouts selling cookies.
We're going to send people, we got people that are going to go door to door and ask about, have you been vaccinated? That's
it reminded me of the census.
Sound like to any?
Sounded like when people go to flood zones and remind people that that make sure that they have they're prepared with a dinghy on their roof.
Anybody? Maybe it was just me.
Just you, asshole.
I thought it sounded like community organizing.
What? And again, what is wrong with community organizing? Oh, it has the word commune in it. Therefore, community, communism, kind of like Social Security, socialism. Even though it's not socialism, it's a social. See what I mean? Yeah, trick or treaters. Right. Great point, Ken. Stop lying. What? Yeah, those commies in their little plastic masks. I remember when I was a young communist with a little paper bag and a mask that like built up the heat on your face, and by the end of the night it was like sweaty and full of snot when you were 7.
Remember when we used to make fun of community organizers? Yeah, they're going door to door and they're going to get things done. And we mocked that a community organizer was in charge of our country under Barack.
Yes, and it and you seemed like lunatics, and you made a mockery of yourself standing in front of a giant chalkboard.
Obama? Well, he's still really running the country.
Is he? I thought Hillary's people were running him, and therefore Hillary's running the country.
The guy. He's the power behind the Biden administration and the minds behind the Biden administration.
Both of them?
And we have become community organizers.
Yeah, and the worst thing that can happen to America is that communities are organized when dealing with a pandemic or natural disasters. I'm having a hard time understanding where the paranoia is coming from, but I'm sure it's justified, and we'll find out in just a moment.
That is praxis.
Oh, I see. Praxis makes perfect communism.
It is important, as I said in last night's program, to...
Yes, it's important to be repetitive.
Understand this. Every time...
Yeah, you have to understand my talking point.
Time conservatives use the word praxis, an Antifa basement dweller loses their nose ring. I've heard that. I don't know if that's true. An Antifa basement dweller. And it is important, as I said in last night's program, to understand this. Every time conservatives use the word praxis, an Antifa basement dweller loses their nose ring. I've heard that. I don't know if that's true, but
Yeah, I hate flubbing a punchline too as much as the next person, but unless the next person is Glenn Beck, in which case he still thinks he could skate on cute.
it's a tricky subject because it isn't a bad thing to take action. It's just the idea that speech and action together form the fabric of politics. This is just praxis, just action. Just take action.
Yeah. You know who was just suggesting something like that? Who sounded like a complete fucking lunatic? Mark Levin.
Chaos, really.
We're not going to take it anymore. We're not going to talk. We're done talking.
One of the biggest influences in my research on praxis was
Google.
Hannah Arendt. She was a Jewish German philosopher who lived through the Nazi regime. She's done some amazing work on the Holocaust. And she's the one who coined the term the banality of evil when describing
I don't know, banal kind of human beings who are evil but kind of pass themselves off as dopey everymen.
Adolf Eichmann, that it was just like it was an everyday event. Just kind of,
routine.
Just routine, okay?
It was in Nazi Germany. That was kind of the problem.
And she wrote a lot about Marx's connection to praxis or action. She believed action is boundless. She said,
by the way, the Nazis in no way carried out their version of praxis.
The smallest act in the most limited circumstances bears the seed of the same boundlessness, because one deed, sometimes one word, can change every constellation.
No, actually, sometimes, I suppose. But those sometimes are really far between.
We know this as Christians to be true. You can say one word and...
Poop. I shouldn't have told everybody.
That one word just...
Poop is the word.
Turns a key and...
Yeah, if you say poop to a bunch of Christians, it's like telling dick jokes to a normal crowd.
And the Spirit takes the rest.
What kind of witchery are you talking about? What the fuck?
Praxis.
Praxis. Anytime you can.
Taking action. Here's what I want you to do.
Okay, let's do it.
It is time to extend. Now, listen to me very carefully.
Okay, I have to, because if I don't listen very carefully, I can't even make out sentences.
It is time to extend our hand and take action. And
hello.
And befriend and be kind to our liberal friends. Because our liberal friends, watch my language carefully here.
You should watch your language, or you might accidentally say poop.
Our liberal friends are under attack, and our liberal friends are beginning to realize, I think I might be in with the wrong group.
Well, it depends on how liberal your Friday night is.
But they have no place to go, all right? Because
I got no place else to go. Yes, they do. You can come here. Liberal friends. I am liberal myself. We are liberals together. I've never hated the word. I never was trained by Republicans to hate the word. And now this asshole's trying to rehab it for us?
Because they believe.
How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Praxis, which is we all storm Carnegie Hall. We don't have a show. We'll just storm the place.
That we are monsters. They believe that we're trying to destroy the country, but there's...
No. I believe that there are like right-wing lunatics within the January 6th crowd that are trying to destroy the country. I think you're trying to profit off of those kind of people. I think you want this back and forth, this fighting to go on forever because you make a living off of it.
They're seeing that liberal...
Hype train! Come on, we got a level 1 hype train. We can make that happen. We can do that. We can get it. We can do that. We can have a level 1 hype train. We can do that. It's not impossible. Just saying, for the record.
Are not liberals anymore. Some liberals are playing along, and it may look like they're part of the mob, but they aren't. I think they're scared, and you can see it everywhere. Look at Bill Maher. He is certainly not a conservative. He's a liberal. And what has he been saying lately? He is disgusted by the leftists. And we have to now understand the difference between a liberal and a leftist.
Right. Yeah, that distinction's existed for a long time. But the problem is, Glenn, that you have been trying to make liberals into leftists for so long, you are stuck with your own lies being the cause of everyone's problems.
We have to get it down. It's got to be something that...
Yeah, get it down. Get it on. Get it funky.
You can spot clearly.
Yeah, maybe if we all wore a big L.
Might seem...
No, leftist and liberal start with the same letter. Son of a bitch.
Obvious. But it's something we need to be very, very clear about. We cannot lump liberals in with leftists anymore. There's too much at stake.
And do not lump liberals in with leftists. No, la 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 la. Like liberty-loving liberals don't want to be lumped in with leftists. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead. You were saying?
And when we do, we box those allies, the people who don't want communism, don't want authoritarianism, don't want America to become the new China. Those people are trapped because they're afraid to say anything because they know what happens, because they've watched it firsthand when their group of quote unquote friends and allies become a mob and destroy.
Yeah, I have to say, can I say for the record, and maybe this is because you guys know me and my audience pays attention, and I do long form stuff, so it's harder to be clipped out of context unless maybe my clips at some point will be used on Hannity's show, and he'll do his best to cut stuff out of context. But I've said some stuff that you could arguably say is an affront to the hyper left, radical, progressive side of the movement, and I call out that bullshit. Pretty easily. I've never felt like I can't speak openly about stuff, and even in moments where it becomes a question of jargon, where I'm speaking in a way that people aren't used to hearing the subject discussed because we're used to kind of autopiloting on certain types of jargon, and if you don't use the jargon, there's some folks that might not think that you're on the team because you're not using the phrases that they're used to hearing about stuff, and if you don't or won't use that phraseology because you think it's either limited or it doesn't work or it's counterintuitive or it actually will long-term hurt the very things that they're talking about, temporarily some folks can get pissed at you. And I'm frozen. It's probably the page I opened. Yeah, hold on. Sorry. I that's what happens when I open stuff up. It's aggravating. All right, I'll close that. I won't. I was gonna bring something up, but I won't do it. But I always find a way of, because I mean well, and because my heart's in the right place, and I'm capable as a communicator of rearranging my thoughts and words in a way that can communicate the same idea to multiple different crowds who can hear it a certain way. It's like, it's like speaking a foreign language. If you're trying to tell someone I love you and you don't speak their actual language, they may not understand that you love them. So you have to figure out how to say it in their language. Occasionally, I suppose there are languages where the English version of I love you might sound like an insult in their language if it's heard wrong. And therefore you have to be aware of that. But that doesn't mean your intent doesn't matter. And so you can fix it. You can go, all right, what I'm trying to say is this. And then if they ultimately say, no, I don't care if your intent doesn't matter, or I'm going to take this one thing and I'm going to cancel you based on that, which is the big fear that they try to stoke in everybody's belief about liberals and progressives in particular. If they attempt to do that, fuck those people. Who cares? There always ends up being a quote-unquote backlash from that shit anyways. And it never results in anybody going away for any length of time. It just doesn't. I like this part. Like, what I'm saying is, Glenn Beck, I don't need you as a friend. I wouldn't trust you to be a friend anyways. What kind of an asshole liberal would go, yeah, you know what? Glenn Beck's being nice to me finally.
Destroy people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
We have to think the difference between leftist and liberals. The left.
Yeah. Now? I mean, this is so aggravating. Seriously. They've spent all their time making every liberal into a Marxist for fucking 3 decades now, if not longer, but him in particular. And all of a sudden, they're like, oh, shit.
Leftist is Antifa, Black Lives Matter, critical race theory. Any sort of Marxist ideology is leftist. It is not liberal.
Right.
Leftists are anti-capitalism and socially radical. Leftists use actually liberal as an insult, as a nasty word. They're tired of all the liberal.
Yeah, and that's where, quite frankly, Glenn, I'm glad you're bringing this up because that's one area where you can bond with the leftists. Because you've been using the word liberal as an insult for 2 fucking decades, you creep.
But the average liberal, your neighbor friend, they don't,
your neighbor friend. I have lots of neighbor friends.
Don't understand that yet. Maybe some of them are starting to wake up. If you read through critical race theory.
Here's what I want to know. Why do you have a black light in your studio? I mean, it's not good for skin tone.
You'll quickly see that leftists are focused on liberals, not conservatives.
Oh, kind of like the way you guys always attack rhinos?
Critical race theorists have already written off conservatives. That's beyond saying. But they realize they need to get liberals in order to achieve their activism to appease their gods. They need praxis from those liberals.
But then you need praxis from the January 6th people. That's what you called for.
It's the same relationship you see with parasites and hosts.
Yeah, it's exactly that. And especially when let's say two parasites, one who's dressed all in black and has cans of soup in his backpack, and then another one who looks like he's auditioning to be the new bass player in a Creed cover band where everyone tries to look like Colonel Sanders. It's like parasites and hosts in that way.
A parasite, leftists need a host, liberals, to survive. That is all that Joe Biden is. He's a host.
Well, he's not a very good host, then,
that the parasites have infected. They needed him to make everybody, all the liberals, go, well, he's better than Donald Trump. And you know what? Joe Biden, he's crazy. He says crazy things, but he's not going to destroy America.
So using your analogy, Glenn Beck, is that your name? Using your analogy, so basically the Bundys of the world, both the Ammond and the Teds of the world, and the Timothy McVeighs and the right-wing extremists who would like to overthrow the government by force, kill people, murder people who literally want people rounded up and murdered at Guantanamo surreptitiously. Those people needed Donald Trump that way, right? Well, he's no Hillary Clinton at least, right?
Little did they know he had been infected by leftists, and they used that body to accomplish their goals so it can spread the disease. It's the reason
the disease of capitalism.
Leftists have adopted the term democratic socialist.
Well, no, it's because that's a softened form of socialism that they're trying to push. It's actually nonsensical.
Because they need that democratic to soft.
Why? Because what would they call it? Republican socialist?
And the word so.
Actually, that's closer to the truth if you think about it. Technically, democratic socialists, if you look at how their governing philosophy would be run if it was implemented, would technically, in the, Democrats believe in democracy, Republicans believe in a republic, where a certain ruling class, makes the main decisions. Technically, democratic socialists would be Republican socialists if you're using the purest forms of the word.
Socialist. But
he's a 1984 kind of guy.
Needed the host body. We have differences with liberals, but the differences we have with them are microscopic in compared to the differences we have with leftists. And I urge you to show liberals kindness, understanding, and disagree with them, even though you're going to get shot down a lot of times. But I'm telling you, this is really important.
Yes, if you disagree with me, I'm going to shoot down your arguments a lot, Glenn. It's true. Like anything you bring up. I mean, if we're picking a chicken place to eat, it's a coin toss. But everywhere else, I'm going to shoot down your arguments.
Important to open the door for a liberal to walk through.
You don't have to open it very wide. We're all pretty fit.
Because we have to live out our values. There are many liberals who are afraid. They don't.
Because you want people to have 30-round magazines duct taped together, walking around town squares going, this is just me showing freedom. I'm just showing a freedom. Just me showing a freedom.
Don't know what to do, and they're looking at the insanity of the leftists, and they're trapped.
I am not trapped. I have never been trapped.
It's not a new idea, not for conservatives.
You don't have any new ideas, Glenn.
Certainly not for me.
You have 3 old ideas, and they just rotate in your head like a lazy Susan.
It's not something we haven't been doing for years,
which is my nickname for him, by the way.
Various ways. It's something that I've encouraged for years now, but we need to double our efforts and try harder.
Bullshit! What the hell? Encouraging for years?
To let liberals know you have an ally in us.
Oh, fuck off, you have not.
And the way I would like to express this, and
I talked to this asshole backstage at Politica on, fucking, what, was it 4 or 5 years ago now? Bullshit.
I've said it for a long time now. But I believe this is the secret. 2 things. Find the things that we can all unite on and serve others.
Yes, we can unite on our concern about cholesterol and inflammation caused by the consumption of too much dairy. We can agree on this, Glenn. We can serve people by reminding them of this.
Once we get out of our own little world and our own problems, things get better. So that's one of the reasons why I'm such a big supporter of OUR and the Nazarene Fund. Not only do I believe it is the moral right thing to do, and that in history will record.
I don't know what those organizations are. I will not post links.
The names of those who participated in trying to stop slavery. They will be remembered as an Oscar Schindler or a Frederick Douglass or Abraham Lincoln. They will be remembered that way.
But not as a Nathan Bedford Forrest or a Robert E. Lee. I would just like to say, for the record, considering you're going to have a double standard on your show tomorrow that will make this clip completely
history will judge us. But also because it's the one thing. Look, if you can't agree that slavery is wrong and slavery should be stopped and do something, even a little thing about.
Yeah, every little thing we can do to stop slavery, kids. Don't. And I would like to say to my viewers, don't have a slave unless you're, that's a fetish thing and the other person is completely consenting, and then that's not even really the kind of slavery we're talking about. But
about slavery together. No matter what we disagree on, if we can't work together on that, I know who you are, okay? I just know who you are. You won't stop slavery?
Glenn, what the fuck are you talking about?
Same thing with the Bill of Rights.
Yes. I tell you what, when are they going to be done with the Bill of Rights? We should sign that any time now. Right after I'm done fighting the Civil War, I will sign the Bill of Rights.
Give me 9. Give me 8.
6. 3.
Of the top 10 for the Bill of Rights. Give them to me. If you disagree with those...
9 of the top 10?
Well, then you're probably a leftist, not a liberal. This is not a matter of the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
It isn't?
Liberals are not our enemy. In a technical sense of the word, anyone who believes in America believes in liberalism. It's just a matter of making...
Is everybody just cribbing from my show now? Seriously. Is everybody just recognizing that my show is growing because while I will poke and prod human beings, I will only really put a big wet foot down on the violent extremists, but everybody else, I'll poke fun at them and roast them, but I welcome every kind of human I come across, that politeness and caring, and the fact that I've never been on board with punch a Nazi or any of that bullshit, which would also make me against anything that happened on January 6th, or the looting or burning of especially black-owned businesses during the riots last year. Like the fact that, was I not on this goddamn bus a long time ago, and suddenly this asshole is coming around to...
Making sure that people who could be our allies and are our allies, not on policies, but on many of the principles, they're our fellow Americans.
No, I can't be your ally, Glenn, because I don't trust you. At all. There is no reason to trust Glenn Beck is genuine in this at all. This is yet another flip by Glenn in an attempt to garner audience or have some sort of, cred somehow, either on the air or amongst an organization that he hangs out with. Either in the Mormon church, somebody told him something that they were like, dude, stop being a prick. Stop shitting on Mitt Romney. Straighten up. We've got an image to protect here, and we got a decency quota that we're trying to push, and you're fucking up the whole thing. I mean, why would anybody trust Glenn Beck as an ally?
And the most important thing we can do for this audience is just keep doing what you've done. Keep being yourself, but double your efforts and try to be a peacemaker. It will make a difference.
Jesus Christ. Try to be a peacemaker. And then look at this. Will we ever see justice in the FBI Trump-Russia investigation? I want indictments. Rand Paul explains Fauci's lies. These are the 2 suggested videos that Glenn Beck put on his own fucking clips. Glenn, stop showing your ass. If this is the new turn, then remind your staff when they're posting these videos and choose different videos to post afterwards. Like, put a link to the Mormon church and how people should become Mormons if they want to be productive, lovely Christian members of society. That's what you're pushing. Because you can't sell this pitch and then follow it up with a, but boom, fuck yeah, we need people locked up. Fauci gets busted by Rand Paul. Good Lord. It's just embarrassing. Thanks, everybody. I went long today. I'm going to go over here. Let's see, while I'm... it'll probably make me choppy to do it, but I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. All right. Hold on. I'm going to clip out this. And I want to thank everybody for the Super Chats today. Thank you to the new follows as well. Thanks, Nick, for becoming a member for 2 months on YouTube so far. Jezebel, thank you for gifting the Tier 1 sub. Thanks for the bits, everybody. Hey, guys. And thank you, Robin, for the Super Chat. And thank you, Enrique, for the Super Chat. Thank you, Mark and Diana and Jay for the Super Chats as well. And Amy and Diana, again, thank you. He can't even look straight into the camera because he knows he's lying. Yeah, I think that was about Don Jr. Yeah. Patricia, thank you. Heather, thank you. Lulu Girl, thank you. Thanks, Maud, for subscribing. And thank you, Joe's Space, for resubscribing for 4 months. Appreciate that. Don't forget to, if you've subscribed on Twitch, you have to resubscribe. A lot of people forget that. So if you do that, and if you have Amazon Prime, it doesn't cost you a dime. I'm going to do, I've got to go in here to Twitch anyways and open this up so I can pop you guys over to, like we're only halfway through, so at least I can, those of you that haven't left me for Ojeda already, I'm going to send you guys.
Great job.
We're going to raid over.
Oh,
be quiet. Don't make noise on my show. This is so crazy. Creator dashboard. I got to open a thing. I can't have these things open during the show or it makes me clickety clack. So there we go. We're gonna raid Airborne's channel. Here we go. As I leave the show. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I just had to click through some links to get it to do it. And hopefully it'll work. I tried to do it last week when I got off. It was like 5:15. Not a long. It'll just take a story. You don't need to hear it. It'll take time away from you guys jumping over and saying hi. But don't forget, when you raid over there, tell Ojeda we said hello and love him. And from everybody at all the Sparklers, all the Sparks Force, salute Airborne as we start that raid. And then I will see you guys tomorrow for the regular radio show, the Hal Sparks radio program, Megaworldwide at 9 a.m. Pacific time. With Johnny Million and all these other folks. We got 128 people just in Twitch who are going to jump over that raid. I will see you guys later. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I'm choppy. You can hear me audio-wise. Hop over there. Bye. Okay. And everybody else, cheers. Thanks very much. Bye.